Another really important part when we're Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you haven't come across us before, this is Run4Adventure. I'm Lloyd Purvis, your host. It's another glorious sunny day down in Cornwall, so we thought we'd come out for our exercise period. We're going to make the most of this period and we're going to shoot a video for you guys at home. We're back on King George's Walk, first time back on the walk since we shot the lockdown marathon challenge video. If you haven't checked it out, we've left a link in the description. Please click that link and check out the video. Right, let's push on to the trails and we'll give you a bit more information about what we're doing. So today's video is going to be about training for your first 50k. It's going to be the first in a series of videos we're going to do about training for specific distances. We're going to also do a video on training for your first 100k and training for your first 100 miler. We're not going to go into super detailed specifics, but we're going to cover a few topics and we're going to give you a bit of advice that we've learned over the years of running long distance for a long time that I think will really help you out. And the things that I really wish I'd known when I took on my first ultra, it might not have ended up the way it did and I might have had a much more pleasurable experience. You're thinking, some view, isn't it? So lucky to be in Cornwall. You're going to be isolated anywhere. I think Cornwall's a pretty good place. So the first thing we're going to cover is nutrition. I know it sounds obvious, but I still speak to a lot of runners going into their first ultra, or guys that have run ultras for quite some time who still haven't dialed in their nutrition. Without doubt, it takes time, it takes a lot of practice, and nutrition and your stomach is always going to be the first thing to let you down when you're running distance. So the first thing you need to do is practice, practice, practice. Try different brands, try different products. Are you going to run with gels, drinks, shot blocks, bars? You know, what suits you? It's great to listen to people's advice and to ask questions on forums, but nutrition is such a personal thing. And when I say practice and try, I don't mean just try for taste and go, oh, they're tasty. I mean, try them on a long run, try these different products, find out what gives you the most energy, find out what doesn't upset your stomach. It took me 7 or 8 products until I found one that really worked and worked consistently. So it really is all about trial and error, and practice makes perfect. So what do we mean by nutritional plan? What I mean is work out what your body needs to take every half hour in calories, and then try and stick to that plan when it comes to race day. You know, you get that plan, a physical plan, write down what you need, write down when you need to take it. The main reason for doing that is because when you go into a race and you stick to that plan and your nutrition goes great, your fuel intake and your hydration, you have a great day, you actually know what you've done. You haven't winged it and got through the race and then not had a clue what you've taken. So it gives you a proper structured plan. That doesn't always guarantee it's going to work. I've worked on my nutritional plan for years and I can probably count on 2 hands the amount of times my nutrition has gone 100% well and I've had a great day. It could still let you down, but it gives you a much better opportunity to get through that race successfully, and then you've got a plan that you can roll into all your other races. I wouldn't just rely on plan A when it comes to nutrition. I'd have a plan B and a plan C. Like I said before, that first plan doesn't always work, so it's good to have a backup plan if things go slightly pear-shaped. Also, when it comes to nutrition, if you can, get on the race website or contact the organisers and try and find out what they're using in the race. Obviously, if it's a nutrition you use already, great, happy days, but if it's not, it might be worth having a practice with it, seeing if it works for you, so then at least you know when you get to the aid stations there's product that you can use. Obviously most races will have a big selection of different products, not just gels and stuff like that. That's some whole foods as well. But always a good bit of advice, check out what nutrition they're going to be using on race day. Last but not least, when it comes to race day nutrition, I would always plan my nutrition around the type of race I'm doing. And what I mean by that is, you know, for a marathon distance, you can pretty much get away with just shoving gels or sugary drinks down your throat. But if you're doing, say, a mountain 50k, you might need to take on different types of foods, more solid foods. A mountain 50k is going to take you a lot longer to run than a flat 50k. You know, you might be out there for 6, 7, 8 hours. So sometimes a nice bit of savoury, a bag of ready salted crisps goes down really well. I would never eat a bag of crisps in a marathon, but I quite often eat a bag of crisps in a 50k. So plan your nutrition around the type of race you're going to be doing. The next bit of advice is kit, running kit, the kit you're going to be using for your first 50k. I know it sounds obvious, but we really do need to give that kit, shoes, top, shorts, vest, running pack, all them things that we're going to use in the race, we need to give them a thorough testing. And that test doesn't mean putting your kit on or your shoes on and running around your living room a few times and going, yeah, they feel comfortable. It means doing your long runs, getting all the kit on, even packing your pack how you're going to pack it in the race, and get out on several long runs, find out what works, what fits, what feels comfortable, find out if anything rubs or chafes. The last thing you want is to find out at 20 miles into a 50k ultra. So another really important part of your training for your first 50k is getting out on some of your long runs with a group of runners. Don't get me wrong, it's really important to run on your own on some of them long runs and build up a bit of mental strength. But if you can hook up with a group of really experienced runners, guys that have done lots of ultras, you're going to gain a lot of knowledge on them long runs. Also, running in that social environment, you always push a bit harder, you run a bit quicker, time goes a bit faster, and you enjoy it a bit more. Obviously, in today's climate, it's quite hard to do with self-isolation, and obviously we're having to train on our own. But today, in this part of the video, we've come up with a plan, and I'm going to actually be running with myself. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but let me introduce you to someone. Come on, in you come. Sorry, he's a bit camera shy. Come on, away! That's it. What are you actually doing? What's all them crazy movements? Well, yeah, I'm just stretching, you know, I'm getting ready for the run, you know what I mean? Oh, that's what you're doing. He's right, it's important to warm up, stretch, get ready, but it's even more important to do it properly. So how's your training going? Training? I don't need to train. Training's for losers, isn't it? I was born to run. Oh, that's right, training's for losers. You were born ready. Okay, well, let's see how important training is, shall we? Come on, let's get running. Okay, let's go. Wait, we're going this way, come on. Okay, I'm coming. Where is it? Maybe training does help. I'm coming! Oh, where's he got to? I knew he'd get lost. Wait! I knew he'd get lost. We really haven't got time for this. We've got a video to make, so I'm going to head on the run. I'm sure we'll catch up later. Oh, I don't believe it. I'm lost, and I knew I'd get lost. I have no idea where I am. Much country, ain't I? I don't know this place. I'm never going to get off here. Where is he? Where are you? So I was supposed to be running with someone else today, but it looks like I've lost myself. But on a serious note, you can get hooked up with a group of runners, especially an experienced group of runners. It really can make a massive difference. When I trained for my first ultra, I pretty much trained alone. I didn't run with any experienced runners at all, and I could have got a lot of advice from them that would really have helped on the day. So if you can hook up with a group of runners ask them as many questions as you can. You might be surprised how many really useful tips and bits of advice you can pick up from that group. The build up to your first 50k or ultra can be a really nerve-wracking time, that's for sure. I know for me, the last couple of weeks building up to my first ultra, I was terrified. A great way of relieving that stress and pressure is to try and find out as much about the route as you possibly can. Obviously, if you can, I would always recommend getting out on the course and doing a really thorough recce, but if the race is too far away, you haven't got time or it's overseas, get online, find out as much information about the route. What type of terrain are you going to run on? How much elevation? Get on the forums, ask questions. There's some really knowledgeable people on them forums, or even there's a lot of really good race reports that can give you a real good insight to the race you're doing. So if you can't recce it, get online and find out as much information about that race as you can. I know this was one of the biggest mistakes I made in preparing for my first ultra. I'd had a brief look at the course and the terrain, but not in much detail, so all my training had been on pretty flat, subtle trail. When I got to the actual event, the route was really challenging, lots of rocky terrain, quite a lot more descent than I had thought, so my body just wasn't ready and it wasn't prepared and it wasn't trained for that environment. So it turned out to be a pretty miserable day. We got to the end, but it could have been a lot better. Another really common mistake to make in your first ultra is overtraining, and I definitely made this mistake when I went into mine. It was the first time I'd pushed over this distance and I thought I had to get in lots and lots of miles so that I was physically and mentally prepared for the race, which I still believe you do have to do. But the last thing you want to do is overtrain and end up either injured before the race or end up completely knackered on the start line. And that's what happened to me, you know. I had trained really hard and overdone it, and by the time we got to the race I was really physically tired. Got to about halfway in the race and I just fell to pieces and had to crawl to the finish line. So overtraining is a real common mistake to make. I personally think for a 50k you don't really have to do much more than following a really good marathon plan. But what I would definitely recommend is you structure that mileage and distance around the terrain you're running on. So if you're doing a coastal 50k, try and get out on the coast path or try and get on terrain that replicates it. But if you're running a quicker road 50k, then obviously get the mileage done in that environment. So don't overtrain and try and structure your mileage around the terrain you're going to be racing on. So really hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I hope the things we've gone over really help you when you take on your first 50k. I know the first time I ran an ultra I made a bag load of mistakes, so hopefully these tips will stop you making the same mistakes. If you liked it, guys, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join the Run4Adventure family. Any comments at all, guys, running related, any comments about running your first 50k or any questions you've got, please get them in the comments below. Don't forget to follow us on our other social media platforms, whether it be Instagram, Facebook or Strava. And as always at Run4Adventure, thanks for watching and stay safe and keep on running, innit?